thank you to Mike for giving me the opportunity to contribute today and say something. And thank you also to him for keeping me in the loop with all things that are going on with the party. And I was asked to say something about why I joined the British Democrats. So I'll start at the beginning to give some context in what in a business setting may be called the buyer's journey. And if someone maybe sees this, they might be in the same position and they might decide to join as well. So I've always been a nationalist. I didn't really know that I was a nationalist, I suppose, because that's kind of the default position when your grandparents are patriotic and your parents are patriotic. I first joined the British National Party when I stumbled across their website and they was in the media. Didn't look at any of their policies. I just liked what they were saying on TV. And being a bit rebellious, I knew that a lot of people didn't like them, so I paid my money and paid for a subscription. Then I didn't renew that subscription, and the BNP's kind of place in the media was waning. And another man came to the fore, and another party, who was Nigel Farage. And so after that, I was waxing lyrical about UKIP to all my friends and anyone who would listen to me. And I went to some Tommy Robinson marches because I thought that Islam was a major problem. And I didn't know what controlled opposition was at the time. And then when I would go out on a Saturday night, I would talk to as many people as I could about nationalist causes, about Tommy Robinson, about UKIP, etc. Often people would get me going and then other people would join in and I would start a debate. And I would debate with people on Facebook and argue as much as possible with people who I didn't agree with and share memes. And that made me feel like I was actually contributing something to the nationalist cause. And then after Brexit, I started to read a lot more right-wing intellectual books, like Roger Scruton, Julius Evola. I read classical literature, and I watched Jonathan Belden on YouTube. Which, really got me going. And most importantly, I think I came across the word grifter. And that's a person who engages in petty or small-scale swindling. And from that point, I kind of saw, if you like, the matrix of how the media works, how parties that they say the right things, which makes you think that they're for your cause and they're nationalists. But the most important thing is what they do not say. And that's people like Farage and Tommy Robinson and those types who are... and they're only in this for what they can earn from it. And not really, they don't care about us. So I started looking for an organisation which importantly had an intellectual element to it and also had policies which I could personally get behind. And my search took me to the British Democrats website. I watched a video of Jim Luthwaite, Matt Godden and Stephen Smith speak, and I was interested. And I looked through their policies. Two things are very important to me. In my family, there's been heavy influence of agriculture and the military. And their agricultural policy stood out to me because they're looking to protect our agriculture and save it from the free market so that it's here for our descendants, successive people. Successive governments have tried to destroy British farming in this country. And they want the land to be taken away from small farmers. and they're looking for that land to get into the hands of large corporations. And they're also looking to use the land for green energy policies, which won't benefit us and our food security. As a business owner myself, I liked and was pleased to see that the party favours small enterprise, and they also believe in public ownership of certain industries, which I do too. They believe in public ownership of the postal service and the railways. I think there's a false narrative in the media and the right-wing politicians that we have at the moment that if you're right-wing you have to be for the free market solves all our problems. But it doesn't, and it's very important that we protect some of our industries. So my search was over and I joined the British Democrats. And since joining, I've attended a leaflet session, I've attended meetings in Maidstone, and I intend to contribute more in the future where I can. Moving forward, I think that the success that we've seen in Europe of some right-wing parties, where they've captured the youth of the country and the anger that the youth have for their own prospects. Our youth in our country, the prospects don't look good for housing and their careers. And I think the party should harness some of that energy there, and they should do it by seeking out the youth on the platforms where they congregate, and TikTok is one of those major platforms, and by creating content that's engaging to the youth. One thing that has been attacked over the years has been the arts and creativity, and it's been kind of taken over by Marxist ideology and ideology from the Frankfurt School. And because it's so important, art and creativity is really important to our cause. But I see a bright future ahead for our cause. I referenced something that Jim Luthwaite said at the Maidstone meeting that I attended, in that time is cyclical, it's not linear, and I think that we're now coming to a point where there's more people than there was 5-10 years ago who believed things that we believe and were confident enough to say them in public. And that's the most important thing, that our confidence of saying these things in public, other people feed off of that, and then they're confident as well. And it's also important that they're articulate in the way that they convey these opinions. And I just wanted to leave you with something which I came across the other day. It was a piece by John Ruskin. When we build, let us think that we build forever. Let it not be for present delight, nor the present use alone. Let it be such work that our descendants will thank us for. Let us think, as we lay stone on stone, that a time is to come when those stones will be held sacred, because our hands have touched them, and that men will say, as they look upon the labour and wrought substance of them, see, this our Father did for us.